Hey, what's up, my friends? Todd Falcone here. Welcome back to this episode. The value of being polarizing versus someone, I guess, who's not. Somebody who's vanilla, somebody who's like, who's that person? I don't really care. First of all, what is polarization? And is it important in marketing? Is it important as a business professional to be polarizing? Well, let's talk about that because it's kind of an interesting subject to get into with individuals. And I'm not even talking about polarization by taking a political stance necessarily. I know it's been said, don't ever talk about politics. If you're in network marketing, you're going to piss off half of your audience, or don't talk religion. I mean, if you're religious, like, I don't know why you wouldn't talk about God or whoever it is that is in your religion. I mean, why wouldn't you? If you have a specific, you have specific values, why wouldn't you talk about your values? Here's the thing, and again, it doesn't have to be about politics or religion or anything else for that matter, but I wanted to just bring that up because I know it's been said. In fact, I know probably a long time ago, and I know I did. I said, I said, never talk about politics, but, interestingly enough, I kind of talk about politics without being, it's kind of an interesting way that I do it. Polarizing, yes, but not typically starting gigantic arguments where people are fighting with one another, which typically happens in a political conversation, at least these days it seems to. But here's the value of polarization, okay? Like, if you're like in the middle, right? Nobody knows where you stand. That's like, I'm not on this side, and I'm not talking, by the way, just so you guys know, I'm not talking left, right politically. I'm just talking like, here's this gauge, right? Here's one side, and here's the center, and here's the other side. If you're just like in the middle, it's like, who are you? What do you stand for? Do you stand for nothing? Like, you're just, you're kind of like, I don't even know, like, at least vanilla has flavor, right? It has vanilla flavor. Like, I don't even know something that just is flavorless, right? No flavor whatsoever. And so what you're going to have some people that, they like you, they're your friends, they hang out with you. But, when you take a stance on something, and even though it's polarizing, what's happening is you take a specific stance. And again, I'm not talking politics, okay? Could be political. But if you take a stance on something, what you're going to do is you're going to create raving fans. You're going to create a group of people that love you because you've had the intestinal fortitude to take a stance, to make your point known, who you are, what your beliefs are, and you're going to have raving fans. But here in the middle, you're not going to really have any raving fans. You're going to have people that like you. You're cool. That's fine. But over here, you're going to have raving fans, people that love you, that are just they're in your court. But then again, when you go all the way over here, you're going to have some people that don't like you so much. You're going to have people that, unfriend you, unfollow you. You're going to have people that don't like you, that dislike you. And you got to make a decision. Do I want to be in the middle where I don't really take a stance? Or do I want to be over here or over here, depending on, and again, we're not talking politics, left, right. I know I'm using this, at least, those of you that catch me on video, some of you guys that are catching me on my podcast and audio are like, what are you doing with your hands? Well, I'm kind of doing a meter with my hands. In the center is kind of the vanilla place. On one side is being polarizing, and another side is being polarizing. And what's interesting is when you're polarizing, when you've taken a stance on whatever that is, and you let it be known, and you're speaking about it in whatever platform it is that you speak on, you're going to have these raving fans, people that love you. You're going to have some people that dislike you. You're going to have some people that they don't dig you at all. But what's also interesting is some of those people will plug into you just because they have a differing opinion about whatever it is that you're talking about. And so, I don't know, this is a decision that you can make for yourself. I'm not saying you need to be polarizing, but it's when you take a stance on something, right? You will create a raving fan base that you wouldn't have if you're kind of in the middle and nobody knows where you stand. You're also running the risk of creating people that that just don't like you. But is your job to be liked by everybody? I mean, so what? You you have an opinion, but you're not willing to share your opinion because you're afraid of like losing a friend. Like somebody is not going to be your friend because you have a specific opinion on something. And we see this all the time on social media for sure, right? So, but my main point in this very short episode is this. The value of being polarizing creates an opportunity for you to have a raving fan base of people that are in your corner, right? That they just, they're like, man, you're my kind of people. You're like, yeah, I like what you have to say. And again, it doesn't have to be, you can be polarizing. Like, for example, I referenced this already, or maybe it was in a previous episode. I don't know. I've done multiple videos today and by the way, that's what I'll do. I'll do like these episodes. This is like episode 6 in a row for me today. So that's how I knock it out in terms of being productive. So your idea of this whole concept of being, taking a stance, like for me, for example, my directness, my boldness, my, in your faceness, I don't know if that's the right term, my bluntness, straightforwardness, no fluff, no cream cheese, giving it to people straight, telling it like it is, all those words that people have described me as over the years. I wouldn't say that's polarizing per se, although it is polarizing because some people like get offended by, dude, you're too direct. Like, man, like you don't even beat around the bush at all. Like, no, I don't. But what it's done for me and my business is it's caused people to be drawn to me because that's the way I am. And it's like, man, I love this guy because he's straightforward. He tells it like it is. He's no BS. He just gives it to you. And then there are, of course, some people that are like, oh my gosh, that's too much for me, Todd. I hate that you're telling me the truth. I can't handle the truth. I can't handle the truth. And so some of those people can't handle it. And it's too much for them. So that, as an example, that's an example of being polarizing without being political, okay? Because a lot of times when we talk about polarization, we're talking politics. But again, I just want to make my point clear. This is not about, necessarily about being polarizing politically, but it's about you being the authentic, real person that you are. And I think when you're, a lot of times I think people on social media tend to not be the real person that they are because they're afraid of, they're afraid of losing people. They're afraid of what you're going to do, you might lose some people, but you're going to gain raving fans, people that love you because you've taken a stance. You've spoken your word. And so that's the value of being polarizing. And that's the main point of today's message. So anyhow, my phone's been ringing off the hook. Let me just check something here again real quick. Yeah. So, all right. Your choice. Be vanilla, be in the middle, or take a stance. Truth is, you take a stance on something, you're going to have some raving people that love you to death, and you'll probably create a great group of those people, and those people will buy stuff from you, do business with you, want to be around you. But the downside is you're going to create some people that aren't into it. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on this because it's kind of an interesting conversation to have because some people are of the opinion that you shouldn't do stuff like that. You should just be nice to, just be cool. Make sure everybody's your friend. I love having friends. I love having followers. But I'm not going to not be me. Don't you think you need to be yourself? Isn't that beautiful when you can just be the authentic, real person that you are? Speak your words, speak your truth, and not be worried about it? That's a good way to be. Anyhow, YouTubers, what's up? Good to see you guys. Podcasters, thank you. Appreciate you guys. If you're on my page, or if you're not, the rest of the details of this episode, I'd love to actually come over to my page, toddfalcone.com/episode 158. And give me your comments. Give me your thoughts on this. Again, I made my point clear. This is not about political polarization necessarily. There's a lot of different ways to be polarizing, but there's value in speaking your truth. toddfalcone.com/episode 158. We'll see you next time.